What is good, maniacs and bookworms alike? It's your boy Media Fiend, and we are back with another Media Fiend Book Club. And then this is a very, very special Media Fiend Book Club because I'm giving off the summer vibes in this one. Definitely giving off the summer vibes in this one. So if you saw last Media Fiend Book Club, we had finished. I found the boogeyman under my brother's crib, and in that we announced the book for this one, and that was the 50th anniversary edition of Jaws by Peter Benchley. Now, before I get into the review, just know that your boy Media Fiend's reviews do tend to contain spoilers, and I'm probably going to spoil this one a little bit. So if you haven't read the book or even watched the movie, pause this, read the book, come back, let me know in the comments what you think, whether you agree with my opinion on this book or whether you think I'm completely full of crap. But just know, everything after this point, if you let it ruin it, it's on you, and I'm sorry. But let's just get right into the review. Let's just jump right into it. So basically, let me give you the synopsis and we'll talk about it. A great white shark terrorizes the beautiful summer getaway of Amityville Island, and a motley group of men take to the water to do battle with the beast, a heart-pounding novel of suspense and brilliant meditation on the nature of humanity. Jaws is one of the most iconic thrillers ever written. In addition to Wendy Benchley's foreword, this edition features bonus content from Peter Benchley's archives, including the manuscript's original title page, a brainstorming list of possible titles, a letter from Benchley to the film producer David Brown with candid feedback on the movie adaptation, and excerpts from Benchley's book Shark Trouble, highlighting his first-hand account of writing Jaws, selling it to Universal Studios, and working with Steven Spielberg. Okay, so basically the main synopsis of the book is what I read at first, and then it just gives you some of the special features. Okay, but anyway, so what can I say about Jaws? This book right here was a good book, a very, very well written book. I feel like the first two kills of the book that you got from the movie, if they would have put these kills from the book into the movie, nobody would ever go into the water again. So basically, the book starts out as the movie. These kids are, partying, having a party. Girl goes swimming. She gets attacked by a shark, just like the movie. But what differs from the movie is the way this girl gets attacked. So in the movie, she's swimming, something comes up, grabs her, drags her around a little bit, and pulls her under. That is not how it goes in the book. So the girl's swimming. It's early morning. She's swimming, and she feels the hit on her foot. And then she feels tingling in her toes, like her foot's caught on something. So when she goes to reach down to, see what's tangled in her toes, she pulls her hand up, her foot's gone, and she feels blood, and she starts to panic. That's when the pain sets in. So when she's panicking, she's trying to swim, and she's flopping around. In the book, Bruce or Jaws or whatever the shark's name is, they call it the fish in the book, comes up from underneath her. Have you ever seen what they call a shark death dive? If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's where its prey is swimming along the shoreline or the water line, and it comes up from underneath, grabs it in its mouth, comes up out of the water, and goes back down. Jaws does it twice in this book for the first two kills, the same first two kills in the movie, Christy and the Kittner boy. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so right there off the bat, the kills are crazy. Then, I hate to say this, but then the book kind of veers off for a little bit. I do like how the author does a kind of boogeyman style for the fish. And what I mean by it, it's always haunting you throughout the book. The fish is always haunting you. There's a couple kills that you don't get in the book. You hear about them, but you don't get the experience of them in the book. But after those two initial kills, he goes for like the phantom boogeyman type of monster for most of the book. Which what I mean by that is the fish is always referred to, but you don't get much of it, in other words. So they shut down the beaches. Chief Brody shuts down the beaches like he does in the movie, but not for a couple days. In this book, he shuts down the beaches for weeks. Like this shark is single-handedly killing this summer town, like killing the economy, because they need the beaches open to make money, and they're not making money because the beaches are closed. Now, this book is also a victim of the author's, what's the word I'm looking for? Ambition. And what I mean by that, there's parts in this book that make no sense of being in there. It adds nothing to the story, really, nothing at all. And it actually, in my opinion, kind of takes away from the story. And what I mean by that, there's 2 chapters in the book where Ellen Brody, which is Martin Brody, Chief Brody's wife, has this crush on Matt Hooper, which in the movie is the shark expert who comes to help. And there's like 50 pages or so in this book of just them almost like having this weird affair. And they don't get into the sexual part of it, but they get into this weird, like, fantasy. Like, they're having lunch, and they get into this weird fantasy talk about how their affair would be if they did have an affair. It was just weird. It was weird. It was unnecessary. It was cringe. It was very cringe. It was a very cringe, like 50 pages. And I'm just like, what the hell does that have to do with this book at all? All it did was basically keep Brody and Hooper at odds with each other the rest of the book. Because Hooper was supposed to be at work, and he wasn't. And Brody kept trying to get a hold of him all day, kept trying to get a hold of his wife all day. And so in the back of his mind, he knows that there's something happening. He doesn't want to believe it, but he's hell-bent on finding out where Hooper was that day that he wasn't at work. But you got to worry about a fish that's killing people. You know what I mean? So it's like it adds a dynamic that really didn't need to be there. And then he also added in stuff with the mob. Like the mayor of the town is in cahoots with the mob and stuff. So he ends up leaving the town towards the end of the movie, or towards the end of the book. And it's like, you know, you already have this shark killing people and killing your economy. You don't have to add the mob aspect into it, because really it made no sense. And also there was an unnecessary death of a cat in this movie just to get the point across that it is the mob. And it really didn't go anywhere. You know what I mean? It was just, oh yeah, I'm in cahoots with the mob, I gotta leave, and it's over. You know what I mean? It's like, it didn't need to be there. You know, it was one of them things that, again, held the book back, in my opinion. But I will say, the ending, the last 3 chapters of this book were insane. Now, I'm gonna spoil this for you, and I'm sorry, I hate to do it, but this is one that I'm gonna spoil because it took me by surprise, being a fan of the movie. So in the movie, when they lower the cage and Hooper hops in it, and then, you know, Jaws attacks the cage, Hooper gets out and hides while the shark attacks the boat and everything and jumps up and swallows Quint and everything. And then at the end, him and Brody swim off into the sunrise or something, whatever. In the book, Hooper doesn't make it. He dies in that cage. Like that right there for me was just insane. Like that took me by surprise. Hooper that shark gets Hooper in that cage, and he gets him, and he rips through that cage, grabs him by the torso with his teeth, and pulls him out, and he's done. And then when Brody tries to shoot the fish, he ends up hitting Hooper in the neck. But I think Hooper was they were hinting at Hooper was already dead. Like the shark had already started chomping down and just tearing Hooper apart. So Hooper doesn't make it in the book, which is insane to me because, like I said, I saw the movie before I read the book. So I was like, what? I had to actually look it up. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then Quint's death at the end was, it was a shitty way to go, but it was so anticlimactic. So instead of being eaten by the shark on the boat like he was in the film, he harpooned the shark and got his leg tangled up in the rope that was holding on to the barrels, and the shark went down and basically drowned it in. And then the only one who lived at the end of the book was Brody. It was crazy. Like I was like, wow. But it was just the fight with the shark. The ending, the fight was good, but the ending of the shark was so anticlimactic compared to the movie. Basically, the shark just succumbs to its injuries and falls and just sinks to the bottom. In the movie, Brody shoots it and blows its head up, or blows it up. Shoots a oxygen tank that's in its mouth and blows it up. In the book, they just harpoon it like 4 or 5 times, and basically the shark just succumbs to its injuries at the end and just sinks to the bottom. Very unclimactic death. But other than that, other than just the chapters that didn't make sense, that didn't need to be there, and the anticlimactic ending of just the shark just, oh, I'm done. The book was good. It was a very good book, like I said. Hooper dying completely took me by surprise. I was like, holy shit. That was crazy. But all in all, good book, good summer vibes. I had to give it 4 out of 5 stars. Like I said, what kept it from being a 5-star read for me was the unnecessary chapters and the anticlimactic death. But all in all, great book. Definitely recommend you pick it up, check it out. Definitely has them summer vibes, good cozy summer, just creature feature. So yeah. Now for the next book that your boy got going on here. I'm super duper excited. This is a big bitch. This is a hefty bastard. It's called Visitors by Robert Lass. So basically it says, the visitors are coming, and they aren't friendly. Unidentified flying objects are streaking across south skies. Unidentified flying objects are streaking south across the skies over Canada and the United States. When American fighter pilots attempt to intercept them, one of the mysterious crafts are shot down and crash lands near a small rural town of Resolution, Missouri. Soon after the crash, the people of Resolution find themselves caught between a covert arm of the U.S. military and a nightmarish creatures from beyond the stars. Townsfolk go missing, cell phones and vehicles malfunction for no reason. Those who try to flee the town are stopped at gunpoint by heavily armed operatives. And isolated farms are attacked by unspeakable monsters. Now, the townsfolk must band together if they hope to survive and escape. But time is running out, and the visitors are closing in. And it's called Visitors, Something Has Fallen from the Sky. That is awesome. That sounds so good. And this, like I said, this is a hefty bastard. This book is 564 pages. So we're going to be on this. We're going to be spending some time with this. But I'm excited to read this. I'm excited to get this review out to y'all. But yeah. All right, guys. I guess with all that being said, that was Jaws. Recommend you check it out. Excited to read Visitors. And yeah. So if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button along with them bell notifications. That way, every time your boy Media Fiend throws up one of these Media Fiend book clubs, you're in the know. So with all that being said, this is your boy Media Fiend saying, as always, until we meet again, be chill And we out. Don't forget, get yourself a good book. All right, y'all. Peace.